Hello guys, it's me RB18 and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make a video about how to get good in PUBG. So without further ado, let's just get to the videos. First of all, I want to thank you guys for having visit my video right now, because it's been pleasure, and I know why you guys come in here. It is because you've got no skills in PUBG. I'm just kidding. I know there has been problems that you're facing. I've been there as well. And after playing 900 hours milestones of PUBG, I finally found out the most effective way for I to win this game with at least 5 or 10 kills with having a chicken dinner. Oh yeah, keep in mind that this video is actually a procedures, or we could say it a step-by-step video to show you guys an exact order to have my way to play this game. Number 1. Landing. So whether like it or not, the landing spot that you need to go is decided by the position of the planes itself. Therefore, you have to be very careful on picking the position of the place that you want to land on. For example, in a Erangel map, the most populated is at the school. Therefore, you might consider yourself in going there, or in any way you don't have to go there, but you have to go to place that is mostly populated as well. Let's take an example of my footage here. By looking at my footage there, you could learn that actually there are a lot of places which has good loots that is not very populated like school, because whenever you go to school, you might end up without having guns because of the ratio of the population to the loots there. And don't forget that whenever you are going down from the plane, you have to be precisely timed not to waste your time on the air, because when you're flying on the air or floating in the air, you end up without having loots. Therefore, you could die by getting killed, or even you can get killed when you're airborne. So in order to get kills in the early minutes of the game, you have to be very fast in having your loots ready. Therefore, you have to keep moving while looting. Here are the tips that I will show you. First one. Don't get distracted by unnecessary items. These items might be considered not very useful in the early game. For me, I will tend to go for guns, armors, and helmets at first. I will always avoid having the items such thing like foregrips, gas cans, or even clothes. However, healing pack is most probably considerable, because you will need it in some places or sometimes, but you will not need it as well in the early times. Why am I saying that it is not necessary to take those items? By taking loot such thing like foregrips, gas cans, or any accessories regarding the guns, you will have more time to spend while looting, rather than you can keep moving by split seconds and getting to another room and having your loot ready. In this way, you can have your guns ready, or whenever there is no guns or any supplies that you need in the first early minutes, you can just go walk away the house. After finding guns, armors, and helmets, you are pleased to charge your enemies. Why? Because any guns or your favorite guns is actually needed for the early kills, nothing else, nothing more or nothing less. Therefore, rushing them when they are looting is the best way to get them assassinated. Having to say that you are successfully assassinated your enemies in nearby location, now you have to move to other places. In this case, whenever your circle or the white circle is nearby, or you're inside the circle, you have to take carefully to think where you're going next. Because whatever you do, You have to find enemies. You don't want to end up looting, just looting for the whole game. So having to know that good spots or big spots that is most probably has enemies is the most considerable ones. However, whenever you are outside the circle, you might consider yourself to get to the place where you can hide or loot if you have no enough supplies in your backpack. In this case, I would go to a safer place and not taking risk at all. After you executed the first plan that I mentioned it before, I would suggest you guys to go for it in the mid-game plans. The go for it plan is actually when you go out, search for players as we are looking for kills. But how can we get kills when we don't know where they are? Here's the first thing, the easiest way to spot enemies. First one is to follow supply drops from the airplane. The second one is using the vehicle to go around the map. The third one is to find the sound source of the gunshots. Of course you have done this before, right? Like you heard something from near places like gunshots, then you follow it through up. Or other than that, when you're out in the blue circle, you could just run towards the white circle whenever it is low in time. In that way, you will actually find anyone or any teams that are actually doing the same thing as you. In this case, you will take your opportunity as best as possible you could do. Other than that, my other suggestion is that you just have to wait for people to come. However, this is not how you get kills. This is how you survive. Now, how to aim when you notice enemy? There are 3 types of range that you should learn of how to shoot. First thing first is the short range when your enemy is within 50 meters or below. Here's how to deal with them. Look at this clip right here.
Nice, nice.
Never think of saving your bullets. Your bullets won't be meaningful when it is wasted when you're dead. The second one of range type is the middle range. It is mostly below 80 meters. So how you deal with the mid-range enemies? The first thing that you have to do is that either fight with the scopes that you have. As the scopes, a bigger scope is, you will have the advantage to spot the body parts. In this case, you would love to shoot the head of your enemies as it deals the most damage to it.
Nice,
The third one is the long range. How do you deal with this? Actually, it's kind of simple as long range is 100 or above ranges. So you should have your own scope to get the advantage of at least to spot the enemies. In this kind of way, you just have to practice your aim a little more. You have to know how the projectile goes.
Nice.
After you have done with killing people, this is the most intense ones. This will create such nerves to your body. It is the late game period, I might say, because in this period there are only like 15 people or below. In this kind of problem, you have to be very careful with first with your distance, second with your terrains, third be careful of those who can have the high grounds or the lower grounds that can spot you. In this kind of period, I will suggest you guys to think very carefully. I myself will seldomly open a fight. What I would do is actually joins a crossfire. In this kind of gameplay, you will have to hide very patiently until somebody's firing shots. In this kind of moment, you have to be very careful because before you are initiating to join the fight, you have to see the surrounding first. Is it clear? Or where do you want to go next if you're failing? Therefore, you have to be very careful what you must do. Here's the clip that supports your evidence.
Kiri dong, yang pakai gili yang di kiri. Yang di gua, yang pakai gili.
Pakai smoke lagi. Iya nggak apa-apa biar takut. Oh, ini gua ada granat anjir. Awas.
Bukan. Lihat yang kanan.
Tengah. Tuh. Kanan. Itu yang kuning di kanan lu. Lu ngapain masuk?
Sisanya tadi tuh.
Situ.
Yang di gunung
Tuh,
paling.
depan lu. Pas gini.
Yes! Gokil. Mantap.
Alright, I think that's all for today. Hopefully you can learn from these tips that I give to you. In the next videos, I will show you how to aim properly and how to play in squads or FPPs. These are just projection of the third-person shooter, or we call it a TPP. So I think that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and comment where I did wrong in my commentary. And subscribe to this channel for more infos or tips that I give to you. See you guys. Thank you for watching.